Welcome to my UK Global Talent Visa Frequently Asked Questions. My name is Michelle Hua and I'm a consultant for the Exceptional Talent or Global Talent Visa, which it's called now. So just quickly, I'm going to go through 10 quick questions that I've been asked many times over the years and more recently during my webinars that I host every month. So let's get straight to it. Am I eligible? This is a very common question. The eligibility criteria is in the Technation guidelines, and what you need to have a look at is if you fall within the business skill or the technical skill, and if you don't fall in there, it's okay. You just pick the one that's closest to the ones that are listed. What you really do have to look at is where they say, am I not eligible? And that is the types of skills that Technation have listed that, that aren't eligible, unfortunately. Now, the most skills which they really do look at is if you're a technical or management consultant and if you work for a tech-enabled service company. So if you fall within those, you are definitely not eligible, unfortunately. This endorsement for the Global Talent Visa are for people who work as in employees or as founders and or directors of their own startups as well. Okay, and they must work for product-led digital technology companies. That is the biggest hurdle that you must overcome. And if you are working for a product-led digital technology company and that you aren't a management or technical consultant, then you possibly are eligible. Should I go for exceptional talent or exceptional promise? Now, when I applied, this wasn't very clear, but now just think about it's a 5-year criteria. If you have less than 5 years in the job that you're in or in the role that you're in, you should go under exceptional promise. If you have more than 5 years experience, then you should definitely go under talent. Now, if you are kind of on the cusp, if you're 5-6 years, it really depends on your evidence. Okay, so those who have a clear more than 5 years, you should go for talent. Those who are kind of just around less than 5 years or at the 5-year mark, go for promise. Can I pick all the criteria? You can certainly select all the criteria, but I advise you against this. This is because you only can submit 10 documents. There are 6 criteria which you need to select 3 from. And the Technation online portal is very clever in that under key criteria 1, you can only select 1 out of the 2. And under the qualifying criteria, you can only select 2 out of the 4. So what you used to be able to do was select, both key criteria, and you can select all 4 qualifying criteria. But what Technation have done now is that it's a toggle. When you apply online and you need to upload your documents, you can only select 1 out of 2 key criteria and 2 out of the 4 criteria. Now, how many pieces of evidence against each criteria? It's roughly around 3 pieces of evidence against each criteria. So if it's 3 pieces of evidence for 3 criteria, that makes it up to 9 documents. So you just need to select 1 extra criteria or one of the criteria you need to put 4 documents against, just because it may be your stronger criteria. So you've got 6 criteria. You need to select 3 out of the 6 criteria. You need to submit 3 pieces of evidence or 3 documents against each criteria, plus an extra 1 to make it 10. What is the endorsement rate? The endorsement rate is about 50 to 60%. My success rate, however, is about 70 to 80%. So it looks like those who are being endorsed, it's 1 out of 2 roughly applications that are being endorsed. And that isn't great, but with my help, I can hopefully get you going, get you submitted, and hopefully success. I can't guarantee a successful application, but what I can do is I can make your application as strong as it can be so that you can get endorsed. My skills are not listed in the technical skill or business skill list. Can I still apply? Yes, definitely. TechNation have listed certain skills or skills that are more common in the technical or business skill, but it is up to you to convince the assessor and establish why your skill is needed in the tech sector. TechNation know that this is not an exhaustive list. Okay, the tech sector moves so quickly, so it's up to you to let them know what role, what skills you have, and why it makes such a difference to the UK tech sector. Do my experts need to be from the UK? Absolutely not. They understand that you're not from the UK. This is why you're applying for the Global Talent Visa. But if you do have any UK links, absolutely use your UK networks if you possibly can. I suggest all my clients to definitely use as many experts as you can from the UK. But having said that, if you've got some really good experts, international experts, experts from your own country, definitely use them. So long as they are experts, so long as they fit the criteria as experts, then it doesn't matter where they're from. I was unsuccessful. How long do I have to wait before applying again? So I help clients with their second application, because normally what they do is they apply themselves and unfortunately they're unsuccessful. But that's okay. I've helped applicants apply straight away. I've helped applicants, wait for 6 months before they go ahead and apply again, because it depends on the feedback. It depends on what kind of evidence that they have or submitted, and depends on what the assessor has said about their evidence. So they may need some time to gather more evidence, or with some of my clients, we just restructured their application, added more evidence which they didn't put in the first time, but they already had it. So it really depends on the situation, but as a general rule, you can absolutely apply like a day after you were unsuccessful. So you don't have to wait too long. It just depends on what evidence you have in front of you. How do I show I advance the digital technology sector? So this particular question is about key criteria 2. It's about proof of recognition outside of your day-to-day job that advances the UK digital tech sector, or advances the digital tech sector. If you are in the UK, obviously you'll use an example of you advancing the UK digital tech sector. But this is about your community work. It's about adding value to the tech community that you're in. For example, I chose this criteria because I was out there, I was sharing my knowledge, I was going out to universities, I was giving lots of talks about, how to get into the tech industry, because I didn't have a tech background. I shared my knowledge, my insights. I also wrote articles and blogs. I was on podcasts. I was writing, I was interviewed by lots of tech magazines as well, sharing my journey, sharing my expertise. This is about knowledge sharing, knowledge transfer, okay? Because put yourself in the people who are wanting information about certain areas, right? So what they do is they go and they research people who are in those areas and they learn from them. So you have to think of yourself as being, a fountain of knowledge, okay? And you want to share this knowledge so that you can advance the digital tech sector. It can be your own tech sector, it can be an international tech sector, it can be any tech sector. But so long as you show that you have contributed, that you've shared your knowledge and expertise, because if you have, 5 years experience, 10 years experience, or 20 years experience, you have knowledge that you can share. So this is the type of thing that they want you to show if you have it. What is the difference between a letter of recommendation and a letter of support? So letters of recommendations are a must. You have to provide 3 letters from 3 different experts from 3 different organizations to help you with your application. Okay, and these experts need to be, high level, C-suite. They need to be experts in your field. And they need to give you a character reference. So, they need to vouch for you. They need to explain, why is it that you deserve to be in the UK? What skills do you have? What achievements have you made while working for them, or working with them in certain projects? Okay, but letters of support, these are pieces of evidence which help you fulfill the criteria. So you've got 6 criteria which you need to choose 3 from. And so these people can help you fulfill those 3 criteria. They don't need to be C-suite. They don't need to have, you know, public-facing profile like your experts do. They just need to validate and confirm the evidence that you've provided in your criteria that you select. Okay, and these letters only, you know, they don't have to be too long. They can be 1 page, 2 page, or 3 pages, depending on if you've got other evidence to help support your criteria. Okay, so these letters validate and confirm the evidence that you put against each criteria. So hopefully that will help you very briefly, very quickly on some of these questions. If you have any more questions, please do email me at techvisa@michellehua.co.uk, or you can go to my website, michellehua.co.uk. Thank you. Bye.